Hi, it's Lori from the Pink Girly channel, and it's August 13th, and it's time for my contribution to hashtag Second Saturday Stash slash 7 collab, hosted by Maria from Maria's Miscellany. And this month, our suggested items are from Aaliyah de Pina, and I hope I said your name right, Aaliyah. And she suggests that we use buttons, embroidery thread, bulb pins, a doily, rag rug fiber, greeting cards, and playing cards. I don't think I have any rag rug fiber. So I didn't pull out anything for that. I do have an idea and a direction I'm going to head, so let's just get started. I am going to attempt to make a tip out, if you will, for a journal page with I'm calling it a retro card. I'm not sure if it's vintage. It looks like a gate. I did do some research when I first got this card to try to identify what year it's from, but I was unsuccessful. So I'm going to use the envelope and I'm going to use the card, but I'm going to paint over this. So I'm going to put my envelope aside. I just pulled out a paper doily. I've got some bulb pins here, and you can see my little array of buttons. So I am just going to jump in and start. Now this is going to be folded like this, and I think I am going to trim this, but I think I'm going to paint it first. We'll see how this works. So I just have a paper towel here. I'm going to grab a fairly large brush, and I'm going to choose blush pink, which is really kind of a dusty rose color, and I'm going to use my Americano. I always say that backwards. Americano, my Deco Art Americana paint. And I'm just going to give a quick, hopefully quick scrub of this paint. I'm just going to put some on my silicone mat and make a mess, of course. And I did pull out my gesso. So I think I'm going to put some gesso on here, but I'm going to see if I can get most of this kind of flowery, bright green color covered up. Let me get my playing cards out of the way. I pulled out some Norman Rockwell cards. So let me just get a coat of paint on. Now this should dry fairly quickly. It's just an acrylic craft paint. And this has the 3 sections, which I thought would really be cool to make pockets. So hopefully this idea is going to work out. And I want it to be more, not even so much Victorian, but kind of muted and country and primitive, that kind of a look rather than a bright garden look. I'm going to use my heat gun and dry this up a little more quickly than what would dry naturally. Now I'm thinking I'm going to have to paint the back of this one section because if I fold it this way, that white panel is going to show. I don't want to fuss around too much with it because I really don't mind if some impression of the original card design kind of shows through. I'm not too concerned about that. That might just help give us a little more character here. So I'm just going to quickly brush that on. And as you can see, I'm making a mess. Definitely, definitely. Let's try that again. On the back side. Now I did a lot of other additional supplies. Mostly everything I have that I plan to use is pretty much not too far out of reach for me. So I'm just going to take a baby wipe and add some additional water and see if I can get this. I flipped over my little silicone mat and it doesn't seem to want to stick as well on this side. Let me see if I can just quickly clean that up. So I hope you're all doing well, happily crafting and staying cool in this tremendous heat we seem to be having. I can't believe we're already in August. All right, let's see here. Maybe the paper towel will do a little better. I think the baby wipe just seems to kind of be pushing it around. All right, now the doily that I want to use is small. Not super small. I guess it's maybe like 6-inch. And I'm thinking I want to use it this way. So I think I want to cut off this section of my card. Let's see if I can do it here. My Timmy scissors are the easiest to grab. Just cut down and hope for the best on that picket fence. They don't generally cut very straight. All right. Now, it's okay that this is in pieces now because I'm going to make pockets and that's going to be glued. So now I'm going to make mess number 2 and grab some of my gesso. I'm going to dig in there with the palette knife. I'm getting way down the bottom of this. And I'm just going to scrape some of this on. Maybe a little heavier than I normally would. Gosh, I am making a mess. I just put on new fingernails too. Ruh-roh. I'm such a twirler. Much rather twirl my piece. Now that was looking really messy. Okay. Now, of course, this has to dry too. Now, this might take a little more time to dry. Not quite sure. I think it'll dry fairly quickly. I haven't used my gesso in a while. Some things I love the look of them, but then I always forget I have them to use. So again, let's clean up a little bit here. So we have a nice surface to work on. Now I don't want to forget that back panel either, so I'm going to have to dry this little bit right here. And then I think I'm going to pull out I think I could use my oxide. I've got my Gathered Twig Distress Oxide. I'm going to use a little bit of that. I still have my envelope sitting off to the side. It's drying very nicely, very nicely. Now I have some portions here that are a little thicker, but I'm just going to let that sit aside. See, I've got a really deep portion here. So I might just have to rub that in with my finger. I want the look to be consistent. Now I'm trying not to stray too terribly far from the original items. I'm thinking Aaliyah may have meant, we used to have those rug kits where you would get the little bundle of cut pieces of yarn. Perhaps she means that kind of rug fiber. Not quite sure. But these aren't hard and fast rules either. And if you want to join the collab and use the same items and make a creation, you can upload it as well. It's just to use up some stuff we have in our stash, which is always a good idea. All right. So, yeah, let's see. I'm going to just take my paper towel and just kind of spread out those thicker areas. They're not as wet as I thought they were. Now, I've been using this new stencil I've gotten pretty exclusively because I just like it and it's easy and it's sitting right here. So I'm going to take my oxide ink and I'm going to put this down and just pop a little bit of additional color on my fence section. And these were the little shrub and flower sections of the card. Just kind of knocking back that real white gesso color spots. And then look at the back section here. And I'm just using a variety of pressure to get some different looks. And then I think I want to grab, usually I have them right here. One of my blending tools. And this one, I think, yeah, that one's a little dodgy, I think. So let me grab this and I'm just going to do the edges. These are almost look like clouds, don't they? All right, look at the edge of my fence. Now, I didn't paint my envelope. I don't know that a whole lot of my envelope is really going to show, but I don't know yet. See if my idea works. And this fence portion, that may end up being covered up. I'm not sure. So I think what I want to do is then be able to glue this down in my journal, on my journal page, and have this flip out. So let's have a little contrast. Let's just go ahead and ink some of this. Right where This is going to glue on this way. So that I'll be able to flip this out. I'll have a pocket. And then I'll have some pockets here as well. So this is going to look a little different, but to carry through the same kind of a look, I'm going to use this my stencil. And just add some color here. So when that flips open, it's not going to be stark white. Already I'm starting to change my mind. Does that ever happen to you when you're arting or crafting? You start in one direction and you think, I might be better if I do that a little differently. Or as you get in the zone, you get in the groove of your creativity, you think something else might work a little better, or you might like it a little better. I think that's what's happening here. See, now ideally this is going to be glued here. Right? So I'm still going to see this portion. So I'm going to add some more of this to this area. See how that works. Now I have a piece of, this is wallpaper. And I have this sitting here. It's not quite wide enough for my fence. I just think the fence is going to need a little more support. And I've got some book, I got a book page here. Gosh, that's such a cute book page. Maybe I want to use something that's not going to... Like sometimes when we have our book pages, you know, there's an index or, yeah, table of contents. See, like I don't really need to use that. Well, I can use this and not destroy the images. So maybe I'm just gonna put this down. All right, so what kind of glue? Let me see if my Yes Paste. My Yes Paste might just be, I had a little bit of an avalanche here. Might just be the ticket. Uh-oh. I apologize. I put that in a not great spot. Yes Paste, if you're not familiar, I have fallen in love with Yes Paste. And I'm just going to use a palette knife to adhere that to my card. And it's really kind of, it's like a really nice textured glue stick. But you can get on a nice layer. It sticks down wonderfully well. I've even used it on fabric recently. And if you use a palette knife, You can really spread it out pretty thin. And I haven't really had it wrinkle. I get a nice coverage, and it sticks on very well. And then I just put it in my rinse water that my brushes are in, and it cleans off the palette knife really nicely as well. All right. I didn't get any on that little spoke of the fence. I'm just going to add a little more. Now, of course, I did get some on my work surface. So you just want to be aware of that. Just wipe that up. I think I'm going to need my palette knife and glue again. So I'm just going to leave that palette knife in my container of Yes paste. And it really only takes a few minutes to set up. Now I'm going to trim this out. Instead of taking the time to measure, I just thought this would be the easier thing to do. I'm going to trim it all the way out. Now, I saw something in Goodwill. It was a Martha Stewart product. And I know I put it by my work area here. But I don't know where I put it. And I think probably what it is a really small cutting board. You know, where I could put this down, then use a knife, and instead of dragging out a big self-healing mat. But I don't see it. I don't see it. But this would be, you know how sometimes you see something and you think, oh yeah, I'm going to grab that. Not sure how I'm going to use it. Well, that's the case with this item. And I think it would have been good for this. Although this isn't that hard to cut out. I think I could have glued this a little better. Now, if you'd like to join in with us and do a project with these items, the rules that Maria set up for us is that you just need to use one item. I like to try to use as many as I can and not add too many other ones. That's just my own personal way of thinking, I guess, to kind of challenge myself and just use what has been suggested by the co-host for the month. All right, now I'm going to have to fix some of those spokes. They're not quite glued down. But I'm going to go ahead and ink them. And then I have just a little bit of, I think this is gold matte medium in this little container. So I'm just going to pop some of that underneath these. I keep pulling them back up. I'm gluing them down and pulling them up. Not good. Now I do have two little squares there. I'm not going to worry too much about for right now. I think I want to mark this so I know where to put the yes paste. You know, I'm just thinking if I glue that here, but I trim this, of course I glued this on backwards. And let's just see. Yeah, that's upside down. So that's, see, in hindsight, if I had flipped that table of contents, I could have glued it the other way, or this way. I'm just thinking if I trim this, I can make another pocket, right? Let's give that a little fold. This is what I mean once you get started, you get in the groove and you get other ideas. Other things come to your mind. So now I'm going to put the glue, rather than yes paste, I'm going to use this liquid glue here. I'm just going to put it on the edge across the bottom and on that side. I should have come inside those lines. It's all right. It'll be all right. So I'm going to give that a little press. And I think this can be trimmed a little more here. I have a little bit too much of that showing. Actually, I can trim this all the way down. Let's just do that. So now I got a pocket. This is a pocket. I'll have to decorate that, of course. We don't want that looking yucky. And this is the rest of my card, right? I'm going to cap up my gesso there. Oh, we've got a Rogue blender. All right, so I want this to be a pocket and this to be a pocket. I'm not sure why I painted that side. I guess I was thinking it would open up and I would need it, but I don't. So I want to glue across the bottom and down this side, and then I'm going to have my pockets. If I detach this, now let's think about this a minute. If I detach this here, I can move this up and I can move this down and offset it. Let's try that. So if I glue this here, you know, move it up a little bit on the fence, and then move this one down. I have a pocket here and a pocket here. I want a little more definition there of where I inked that. And I'm so sorry, that glare on my table is really annoying. I don't know that this will help. This will probably be worse. See, I'm adding a lot more of my gathered twigs. All right, so I'm going to glue this the same on each side and then across the bottom, because whatever I put in this pocket, I don't want it to fall through and get stuck in Never Never Land. I probably should have inked this a little bit more. Now I want to get it on there as straight as I can. Oh goodness. I just slipped it. I just slipped. When I was first thinking about the idea, I was thinking about having this be a flip down, but then I thought if I had stuff in the pocket, it would fall out on the floor. That would not be useful. And so this one I'm going to start here. So that gives me a little more depth there. Same thing, I'm going to put some glue on the edges and then across the bottom. And start at the bottom of my envelope there. All right, so this is my card. Now it's going to flip open that way. I have a pocket, and then we made a pocket here, but I need something there to decorate. I've got some book pages here. Romeo and Juliet. Let's see if we can make this work. Just going to tear this. Romeo and Juliet. All right. I think that'll be okay. So a little bit of glue, and then when I put this down, I'm going to ink after it dries. Now, if you're not doing a video and you have the luxury of having a little more time to plan out something, you might do things a little differently. Like perhaps put a piece of paper on this before you glue it down and make the pocket. Now I want to add some other pieces of this text. Now this is kind of brittly, so just gently kind of inking these edges. But that might look cute there. And let's grab another piece. And let's tuck a piece in here. Again, you can do all this before you glue down your other components, and it makes it easier. I'm kind of just doing it on the fly here. Okay, that kind of looks cool. Here I have Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. I think I might want to use like tour right into the words. So it's going to look a little shoddy. The one thing about the oxide, it really, you don't have to push too hard for it to give you some color. And, you know, on paper that really is kind of brittle. If I want it there, I don't know that I do. Maybe I'll just do Prince of Denmark. Kind of like that. Oh, Romeo and Juliet. Now I'll have that in my mind. All right, so I'm going to leave that for a minute. I'm going to trim that. Let me grab my doily. Okay, so this just was a little aged or tea-dyed or whatever. I don't remember. Now, see, this portion is going to be glued down in a journal, on a journal page, so I don't need to wrap it. But I certainly could. Maybe put a little more color on this. Let's get that. Let's get the edge. This gathered twig is really a nice color. I generally use Vintage Photo, but this is really a nice color. All right, so I'm going to put some glue here to start. And then in all these little spots, I'm going to hit different little spots here where the doily is more solid. And I'm just going to be concerned about the top part first. Put that where I want it. And then I'm just going to, because this is going to be glued down, I'm not going to be as concerned or be as neat because you're not going to see this part. Boy, my nails are getting hammered on this project. Woohoo! I always like to put my pin back in there because I'm known for getting it clogged. All right, so let's trim this. Now, earlier when I was rummaging through my stash, I found the edges of a box, American Beauty, and it says Everyday Assortment 21 Smart French Folders. I'm assuming it was a greeting card box. So I thought this might look cute as part of this project. And I don't know, I kind of like it on the front. Let's ink it. I don't think I want to worry about the... Now, I took some of it off. It's really kind of brittle. I kind of peeled the cardboard, I should say, in half. Took some of the thickness away. Now, as far as my playing cards, I'm thinking I might ink those a little bit, but just use them in the pockets and not really pay too much attention to those today. And this can hang over, right? So I don't want any glue down there. So I'm going to add some glue, if this will cooperate. Got some glue on my pin stopper that goes in there. Let's grab a little Yes paste. I don't think I want it, I don't want it down there, just want it up on this portion. I think that looks cool. Now, what else do we have here? I have buttons I need to use. I need to use some bulb pins. And what else did she give us? I moved my big list. Greeting cards. Romeo and Juliet. I have some fibers here. She has the rug fibers, but as I said, I don't really have any of that. So let's see if I have any kind of... Oh, I was off camera. I'm batting 1,000 today, guys. I need like a piece of yarn, I think. I could probably substitute with a piece of yarn of some kind. You know, some kind of furry little fibrous goodie. Let's see if I can. Oh, I found something, but the colors are way off. I don't want that. One more button. See if I can get some of this to work. I mean, that's what I have in my mind when she said rug fibers. Those rugs we used to all make when we were kids. This is not a rug fiber, but it's more. I've got a pin here. I think it's better than maybe a piece of lace. It's kind of dark. Not sure about that. I might have to let that go because I'm just thinking that doesn't work so well. But I need some kind of fiber or something to attach my bulb pins to. Let's take another piece of book page and maybe we can glue it down here on top and try to make those work. Kind of connect those. What do you think? Let's add a little more yes paste here. My gosh, I have that Romeo and Juliet song really hammering in my head. Okay, let's put that down. Now, I usually have some kind of stamp with words on it sitting around my work area that I could put, here. But I have been trying to clean up and be better at cleaning up. So that might look good that way. But I don't know that I have any words. Any words of wisdom? How about a piece of washi? Here's how this would look. That might work. Woohoo! Let's see, which one do I like better? I think I kind of like this one. Oh, let's do this. Yes, please. And I was working my last stream and I had some tinkle tape sitting near here, and I don't know if I still have that. Boy, wouldn't a piece of that look cool? I'd have to make a piece. Let's see. Going, of course, you always go longer than you think you're going to go. This serves no purpose other than just to decorate. Doesn't have to be perfect. Not at all. Let's get some ink down on that other book paper over here. The backs of the fence, the spokes. Let's knock some of that bright white color back. And let's grab the stencil again. Maybe just put a few little of the same pattern. So we kind of following through with the look, right? And let's ink. I was thinking I might cut these like tags, but I decided not to, at least not now. I might do that, you know, down the road, but gosh, the video will be 3 hours long. 3 hours long. So we'll just stick that in that pocket. How lovely. All right, and of course we can put other things in that larger pocket. And then I've got 2 more playing cards. Now I need a little bit of, dare I say, cheesecloth. I can put him in that pocket. These are my playing cards. These are a few of the prompts. And I'm just knocking back some of that bright white. I'll put that in there, like that. Now I still have to use some buttons. Now let's see. If I can find a bit of I was going to use one of these frames. I thought I had stuffed a piece of cheesecloth next to my desk here in my little twirly bin. Look, I found a stamp. Life moment. There's a piece of, just a little piece of, I'd say muslin. It's kind of like a muslin. I have to remember where I put my bowl pins. I know I got them out. And me. Now I've got Wizard of Oz on my mind. Oh my goodness, my brain. My brain. Well, let's see if I have a few more. Oh, look, I found some tinkle tape. I have it stuck to a plastic box. If you get a piece of acetate, say like you buy some stamps or you buy some ephemera and it comes in some of that packaging, you know, you keep some of the packaging. You can make your tinkle tape that way. Let's wrap it. But you got to be able to remember where you put it, which I don't always. And I got another piece. And if you're watching and you don't know what I mean by tinkle tape, I call it tinkle tape because it just looks old and vintage and it looks like somebody's tinkled on it. And what you do is you just take your clear cellophane tape. See this piece I picked up already and used. You don't want the frosted kind. You just want clear cellophane. And then you take some alcohol ink. I use latte, but there's, you know, probably a lot of other colors you can use. Butterscotch, or, you know, you might like it a little lighter, a little darker. And then you just put your tape on your surface, like your piece of acetate, plastic box, like I did there. And put some of the alcohol ink on it. Let it dry, and then you've got this beautifully stained tape. It just looks wonderful. see if I can get this to stamp. Now this is Vintage Photo. I'm not sure how juicy it is though. So I'm going to stamp on another piece of paper. Not too shabby, kids. Not too shabby. So I'm going to put that here. Tear my edges. Okay. Put a little bit of color on there. Let's see if we can glue that down. I think I might have my nozzle a little clogged. Oh, nope, here it comes. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Excellent. I'm going to put that there. Okay. Now, I was going to pull out some embroidery thread, and I didn't do that. I'm just looking around to see if I had any that I can grab. Don't know where. Let me put some of that. Let's see what's in here. I think I'm going to put a button on my bulb pin. This might look good on here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing any. I have tons of it. I just don't have it. Here, I forgot about the embroidery thread. Even if I found some, it probably wouldn't be the right color that I would need. Okay, let's see here. That might look good here, guys. What do you think? Now that's part of that other pocket, so I don't think I want to glue that across. Wonder how it would look if I just did it right. I think it'll be okay. Just take a little snip of that. See, it's wonderful, isn't it, when you can use things in your stash? I plugged in my hot glue gun. And I'm going to see if I can get it. Normally, I would use Fabri-Tac, but I think I took that in the other room. I was using that when my grandchildren were visiting. Now, the other thing I like to do is I like to add script. Now, the rules for the collab is just use one of the items that the guest host gives us. And I think we can do pretty much what else we want. So let's just see if I can grab. Here's one. I'm just going to grab a stamp that's got some script. Now, this isn't like, there is some writing, but it's not like, you know, cool penmanship. I don't think. And I don't want it to be, terribly in my face. And I want to protect what I have there. So I'm just going to wing it. I'm winging it, guys. I'm winging it. Okay. Now, when I scraped my ink pad, some of the fiber came off. You may not want to do that. So that kind of looks cool. And that looks good enough there. And then I'm going to put a button on one of my bulb pins. Now I've gotten the bulb pins out twice now, and let's see if I can remember where I put them a second time. There they are. We're in business. Woohoo! So I'm going to take my bulb pen, and let's see what I have here. Look at this lovely little pink number. That might work, huh? Look, there's a bulb pin right in with, I threw them in with my buttons. That was a brilliant idea, Lori. All right, so I'm just putting my pin on my bulb pin. And I'm going to put that through this piece of fabric. And I'm going to glue it right there. I don't want to glue it over here because I put some, book paper there, and I put the tinkle tape there. So I don't want to cover all that up. So I'm just going to put it right there. So I'm going to do that with my hot glue gun because it just goes quicker when you're doing a project like this and you're trying to get your recording done. But you could use Fabri-Tac, really. So I put my playing cards in there. This flips open. I made another pocket. We can put a playing card in there. And we have a pocket here. And this is going to get glued down on a page in my journal. So I think that's it. I mean, you can add all kinds of stuff, and keep building on this. Did I glue this down? I glued it down and then I mushed it and it moved. But that's okay. I got that damp. How did I get that damp? Maybe from the glue. I put too much glue on it. So these were items from Aaliyah DePina. And this is for the hashtag second Saturday /7 Maria Miscellanies group. And this is my contribution for August. And we had to use, if I can find my little cheat sheet here, buttons, which I did. I used a button. Embroidery thread, I didn't use that. Bulb pin, a doily, which I have decorating on the inside. I used a paper doily. A rag rug fiber, which I didn't have. This fence and the pockets is my greeting card. And then playing cards, and I've added those to my pockets. So there you have it. That's my project for this month. This was fun. I think it turned out pretty cute. And see, this is a little flimsy, but once I glue that down, it can be pretty cool. I think it'll look nice in a journal. So there you have it. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to check out the other ladies. They're posted below. You can go to their channel and move around the collab and see what everyone did with the items that we had to use for this month. And you can do the same type of project. Use those items that are in your stash and then go to Maria's YouTube site. And she has instructions there for how you can upload your project and we can see what you did with the items. It's really fun. All right, thanks for joining me. I hope to see you next time. Don't forget, take time to be creative. Enjoy the journey. Thanks, Aaliyah, and thank you, Maria. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.